Nevertheless, though, Team Aster, not ones to just bow out. They're going to put up a great fight, I'm sure.
Yeah, should be able to try to ramp up, maybe correct a little bit from that game 1. Keen to see what Sumail can do against a TA. Again, level 1 to 2 should be pretty good for the Timb. Level 3, 4 onwards is where maybe things get a little bit tougher. Again, you can't melt through refraction yourself all too well until chalk rooms up. And by level 6, the TA should just be in the jungle farming up anyway. So we'll see. Your rotations as well for Aster with your supports, it's not amazing. Like a Pugna and a Shadow Demon rotating mid. Sounds more like a meme than anything else. You can make it work for sure, but it's not really a threat. Whereas you have Spirit Breaker Charge, you have a Kotl and Ench that can rotate mid fairly nicely. You have a lot of ways of just controlling the early game here.
BetBoom. See Sumail for a moment there. Obviously can't lock him down yet. Won't even bother with the Timber. Going to be a 2-for-2 trade again. So a very kind of even start between these two teams. And pretty much exactly what we saw in game 1 here between Aster and BetBoom. The laning stage is going to be the big deal, I think. The big talking point between these two teams is we can start with the mid lane. GPK on the TA going to be up against Sumail on the mid Timbersaw. You kind of said it already. It's not necessarily going to be too one-sided, I don't think. But it's kind of hard to see any kills happening prior to the level 6 mark. Mind you, once you do have the Chakram up on Sumail, I think there's a lot of kill potential against GPK, but chances are he's just going to go jungle anyway, once he sees the level 6 up on the Timbersaw, so I don't think that's really too big of a deal.
Yeah, and you don't even care for too much of that reactive anyway as a TA. You can always play with the side blades and just feed off some pure damage onto Sumail. So it's a pretty manageable lane for the TA. You can see again how well that shapes up. Still taking a look at the other lanes down bot, you do have Monet on the Slark along with Baboka on the Pugna. So at the least you're not running Doom Pugna lane. You are up against Pure on the Ench, Save on that Kotl. They are running the off lane Ench here, so they are still keeping that Spirit Breaker support. A little bit surprising, but I don't mind an Ench getting farm here. Again, you can't really run down the Ench in this lane. You can just get free impetus shots out. You've got a battery in Save that just lets you keep spamming your spells.
GPK is getting aggressive mid lane. Sumail going to try and turn now with the Whirling Death and try to punish GPK for this. And that Meld Strike really starting to hurt quite a bit for Sumail, but now he does have the reactive armor, so he should feel a lot safer. See, the GPK was just trying to get as much harass as he possibly could during that level 1 timing, and he does do a pretty good job of it. But now I think Sumail should be even with the side blades, as long as he doesn't get caught out, he should be just fine. So he continues to try and be as aggressive as humanly possible. Both mid lane is actually sitting quite low at the moment.
I like this coming up from GPK, just trying to force the issue. Has to respect the output of Sumail, but as soon as he hits level 3, it feels a bit more manageable.
Bit of a charge up from Toronto Tokyo. Siamese Cat is quite far behind the tier 1 tower right now, and he's going to be in a bit of danger top lane because the Shadow Demon is getting bashed up constantly. Mystic Snake will connect. One more right click will do it for Nightfall, but he can't quite get there. So Toronto Tokyo with the charge out is going to have enough damage. Of course, Nightfall did have to back off as he was completely out of mana.
Yeah, but you're still happy in this lane as the Dusa. Again, you're not getting zoned out too hard. A little bit more playable for XXS this time around. Like, he is actually keeping up in CS and slowing down Nightfall by a tad bit. And again, you're not running a Pugna Doom lane, which is always a benefit as well. So a Shadow Demon Doom is maybe a little bit more playable. You can run down, you can try to punish. You've got the save for the Spirit Breaker charge. So it's not as aggressive as it can be for BetBoom. But still, you get first blood like that, Nightfall not dying, just managing to hold the lane. Once he hits level 3, that same play becomes a lot harder. As more points in the mana shield come in, you just don't have a good way of melting it down here.
You do not. Bottom lane. Yeah, I gotta tell you, John, I'm a big fan of this pos 3 Enchantress. It's this hero, like, hard to kill with the Slark. You might not have too many issues with the Timber dealing with it, but in fact, speaking of the Timber, Sumail's taking a lot of damage mid lane. GPK might actually have him. One more hit will do it. Sumail, oh, he's going to be able to run out of range. He's okay. Meanwhile, top lane, another team fight to break out. Siamese Cat already going down on the Shadow Demon. XXS forced to back away. There's nothing he can do to trade. Even with Nightfall at no mana. Just can't close the gap.
Yeah, and they constantly find this punishment onto the Shadow Demon. At the least, again, you have a little bit more of a playable lane for XXS in that he's not being shut down. But you're also not stopping Nightfall too much. And feeding away kills like that definitely just builds up for Dedusa, despite the CS, again, not being the cleanest. More than happy down bot, though.
Down bot, Baboka barely surviving. Cannot secure the kill, but now Monet might be in danger. Save's going for a chase. The Impetus just doing so much damage, and with the Blinding Light, they'll find one and they'll find two. Each person from BetBoom down to this bot lane securing a kill each, and this pulse 3 inch with a constant mana battery in save on the Coddle. It's scary, John. Like, you know, you just essentially have no limits on your Impetus because you've got no mana to worry about. Just so much damage can be dealt.
Yeah, you can just do so much. There's nothing to stop you from keeping that aggression out on the inch. And you can just keep building up. Mid lane, they get the top up for Sumail, so it's going to be a bit harder to shove him away. But again, GPK's been doing a great job of just shoving that Timbersaw away, removing that threat onto himself, and just working his way up. Like a couple of melt strikes just melts that HP. And melee lane for TA to go into, it's not too hard to line up the side blades when they go in for the CS. So you always have some good options there. Overall, a strong start for BetBoom, 0-4. That's more than just strong. That's pretty dominant for them to go off. The charge is here.
Will be cancelled. Instead, they'll try for Siamese Cat, but he gets a disruption off onto GPK, and he's the real target right now. But Sumail, he misses the Whirling Death. He wasn't within range for it. So the TA is going to be just fine. Toronto Tokyo bashing on the way out. Why the hell not? They're trying their absolute best. GPK again being targeted by Sumail with the Chakram, but it's just not enough. In fact, even Save shows up now. Takes the Arcane Rune away from Sumail. And BetBoom, they are really playing like a team here.
Yeah. On point with the coordination, on point with the aggression on every single lane. Finding a lot of initial farm to play with here. Pure all the way up top once more, having a spectacular lane up against Monet. And the Slark just can't do much. We saw Nightfall kind of suffering in CS. It's even worse for Monet in terms of net worth. Still focusing on mid with the aggression. With the Chakram, again, it's a little bit more manageable onto the TA, but GPK, he's still comfy enough. Like, he's not melting. He's got the side blades to fall back to. And Sumail just constantly low. Even with a Vanguard, it's still squishy enough for the TA to handle.
Absolutely. I tell you, I get very concerned for Aster. Like, with Pure finding this much free farm. He's top CS on the board right now. In fact, never mind that for a moment. Siamese Cat. He's going to be able to take a Wisdom Rune. It is his own one, to be fair. Toronto Tokyo are going to try and punish him for this. No bashes yet. And does get one on the end. Just what he needed to secure the kill before he dies to the tier 2 tower. He's going to try and make this as hard as possible for Sumail to secure. In fact, he has charged back up now. Just waiting to get past the tier 2s, and he's actually fine. Tips out from the boys. Toronto. That was a fantastic play from the Breaker.
Nice little grab, nice little kill. Manages to bail out. Maybe even get a reset or just camp around for the 8-minute rune here, as he's not even bothering to go back home. And again, no openings for Aster. 0-5. Just not able to find any punishment onto this movement from BetBoom. Just trying to get what they can from the lanes, but this is not the kind of start you want to see your lineup, because again, you're going to default to a slower style. You have a launching point in Timbersaw. Guess you could try to set up for your Timbersaw with your 2 supports, but Shadow Demon Pugna, how does that connect? I mean, it does work against Dusa well, but in the wider scope of the game, what do you do to set up for your team here?
That's a good question, John. It's a very good question, and I don't have an answer for it at the moment. Baboka charges out. They know the Pugna is there, but they don't want to dive tier 1 towers. They will leave him be. Monet's a much bigger target anyway, but without the charge, they don't really have the lockdown, and, well, quite frankly, even with the charge, they'd probably still struggle with it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Baboka, though, reveals he is still around with another blast, so the chase is on from Save to try and find out where this Pugna's gone. Baboka hiding in the tree line the best he possibly can, and they are not going to check. He is safe for now. Save still looking. Oh, he's not going to find him. A little bit unfortunate. Not the biggest deal in the world, though. It is just a +5 Pugna.
Yeah, not the biggest kill to miss out on. You force Siamese Cat to come down here as well. True to Gate will work his way back up. Try and give a steady lane through for XXS. But it's a little bit of time being wasted by the side of BetBoom, to be sure. Then again, I don't feel like there's anything else they can do in the other lanes. Like, they've just won out so hard that you're fine with just kind of looking for opportunities or forcing an opportunity out in the other lanes anyway.
And the bottom tier 1 tower going to be forced down by Pure. Aster are trying their best to find a way to slow this down, but Boboka is going to get spotted, so Toronto Tokyo will go for a charge right in onto the Pugna, and the blinding light to knock him back into Pure. The Decrepify TP is going to be enough. We'll barely make it out. Quick thinking here from our Pugna. Still though, this laning stage has not gone the best as Pure is taking down the bot tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, top lane, Siamese Cat going to get caught out here on the Shadow Demon. At least he will deny the kill away from Nightfall, but he will go down nevertheless. BetBoom, they were even thinking about trying to chase down XXS, but instead they found Monet, who's trying to go through the twin gates, but Toronto Tokyo will land with the charge, and now Monet needs to find a way out of this. He'll go for the Shadow Dance TP, and they do not have the charge to try and cancel that.
Just a little bit too long in the cooldown at level 2 just at the moment. Unable to do as much. 0 to 6 again. BetBoom just finding everything. A smoke out from Siamese Cat and XXS. They've got the Doom to play with. They've got the War Stomp to follow through from the Disruption as well. So this is the connection we might be looking for here if Aster finds the hero.
Bottom lane, grouping up. Pure is the target. Keep in mind, he is level 7. He does have the untouchable. Save actually outrunning them so far, but Boboka does at least get a Decrepify off. The Coddle, though, still a very, very fast old man. He's actually going to be just fine. As now Toronto has rotated through the twin gates. They are looking to go again. Siamese Cat getting bashed immediately upon hit from Toronto Tokyo. And Aster, not only do they not find a kill, but they lose their Pulse Fire Shadow Demon.
Yeah, then that's a smoke rotation that doesn't pan out to anything at all for the side of Aster. 0 to 7, BetBoom looking to play the perfect game. Like at this point, it's almost feasible to actually imagine a 0-death game for BetBoom if they keep playing cleanly.
Well, chasing for the mid lane. GPK, though, proving to be just fine. They just don't have the lockdown, and now Boboka going to be targeted here by Toronto. The disruption will at least save him from the Nether Strike. Boboka, he'll Decrepify and Life Drain, but in the end is still going to go down to Pure. In they go on Samel as well, and Pure is just doing so much pure damage. With those impetus, it's just too much to deal with. And this is what I was talking about earlier on this pos 3 Ench. You can't underestimate it. It hits really hard.
It hits so hard, and you had so much room here for BetBoom to get everything from the lane. I'll make one guess with you, Mike, right now. I'm pretty sure someone in chat is asking FTK, F10K, with the scoreline. You know, you're pretty happy right now, I'm sure.
Certainly are, Jonathan. You certainly are. Unless Aster can make some magic happen.
They just get 10 kills in a row, 2 team wipes in a row with no losses. Let's go. God bless. Always makes me chuckle. Thinking about those guys typing F10K. You guys always give me a good laugh. Thank you. Thank you for being yourselves. It's very cool. As BetBoom, they're just being themselves right now as well, Mike. They're expressing themselves. They've got good stacks to clear out for GPK, who again had a pretty good lane up against Sumail. And the laning phase for Aster just, it falls apart. It's just, you have 2 supports that can't link up and do anything. Like, I get why you have a Pugna and a Shadow Demon, but this is the result, Mike. You don't have a launching point. You don't have anything that the Timbersaw can really connect to. Your Doom could maybe connect with a War Stomp when he has a Blink, but that's not a priority for Dooms early on.
Oh, Monet. Rod of Atos locked him down for a little bit, but he's okay to pounce out. Boboka trying to get some wards down here so Monet can farm in peace. Speaking of the farm though on the Slark, man, look at his net worth, John. So far behind anyone else on the map right now on BetBoom. It's not really his fault. He just hasn't had a lane against his pos 3-inch of Pure. But it's going to be pretty tough to catch up here as a Slark now. And it feels like an even worse time than last game for him, to be fair.
Yeah,
is under attack.
it does. If not, at the very least, just as bad as game 1. BetBoom going out for a smoke, taking the gate up top. Gonna be a nice gank if they find someone here.
Baboka's the only one really close by. And I think they did just see him for a moment. So Baboka, not the biggest kill in the world, but 3 pos 4 kill to take here from BetBoom. This XXS does retreat in time to avoid that ganking coming. But that is your 0 to 10 scoreline now. Some happy people in the chat, I'm sure. And some very unhappy ones, I'm sure.
Yeah, there you go. F10K people. Your time has come, 0 to 10. Easiest time of your life, but still go for more.
Yeah, Samel will be chased down. Meanwhile, Siamese Cat, I mean, he cancels the charge off with the disruption, but it's not going to matter. Save is there with the blinding light to secure the kill, and GPK had most of the damage necessary. You know, the scary part as well for Team Aster, John, is you're going to have the Vessel up soon on save. And in conjunction with Solar Bind, with the Solar Bind, it's a lot of damage. It starts to hurt.
It does. It hurts every single time. I mean, this game is just completely suffering for Aster. 0 to 11 at 15. I don't know if you and I have ever seen a 0 kill scoreline go for this long. All the way up to 11, like. It's
a lot.
This is quite... It's not really a stomp. It doesn't feel like it because it's not that many kills, but boy oh boy. 0 to 11, 8k up. It's pretty much definition of a stomp, Mike.
It certainly is, John. Certainly is. And Team Aster, like, while they're not out of this game yet, it is looking pretty tough for them. Can't lie about that. Roshan now going to get started. BetBoom just taking all the objectives they can. Plenty of minus armor to play with here thanks to GPK. Look at that. There was 4 stacks of minus armor on poor old Roshan. And, eventually they're just going to take this down for completely free, really. Team Aster just not in a position where they can try to counter this Roshan attempt by BetBoom. And they will get away with it quite easily. Rotations coming now from Baboka and Siamese Cap, but they're just trying to push the creep wave up. They're not even here to try and fight Roshan. I don't think they were aware that that was happening.
No. Just can't even respond, you know?
Siamese Cat charges there. They've got the Shadow Demon. Gonna be a nice little bonus here for BetBoom. Aster, they are still just trying to take the time they can to keep this farm going. But it's just such a hard game. It really is. Like, there's no other way to put it. Such a challenging game. And if game 1 was anything to go off, BetBoom, they're not ones to give openings very frequently.
They are not. They just, once they've got their foot in the pedal, they don't let go. Full throttle all the way. And 0 to 12, Deso up on GPK. Tier 2. Slowly but surely all by himself. Clearing out. Have to be careful though.
Yeah, disruption out on GPK. Keep in mind he does have the Aegis up. And the thing is with the Chakra Magic, your refraction's not really that long of a cooldown anymore. So just how one spell can change everything, huh?
Pretty much. Just constantly refracted up. Not gonna take any damage. Oh, Pure.
Jump in on Pure, but Samel, he really can't deal with him on his own. In fact, now Samel's being chased. Did have a shield rune there for a moment.
No,
in fact,
Pure.
he's going to go back in on Pure. Pure almost going down, but barely alive for now. He's going to try for the TP play, but they doom him up.
Oh,
they can't afford to let him go. It's the first kill. It's GPK. He might lose the Aegis. He will. Do they keep going for this team fight? It seems like they want to. Night falls in. Has the Stone Gaze to use. Won't have the opportunity to use it. And Team Aster, they find the first kill of the game for themselves.
That's worthwhile. That's 491 plus 558 gold. A full 1,000 gold from one pick-off there, Mike. Huge opening for Aster. Not enough to equalize the game, but it is a sign of life at the very least coming out here. And the side of BetBoom, they have to respect some of that. I mean, TPing out up front from Pure like that, a little bit cocky and is punished for it. You know, you would have wanted to go through this game without any deaths at all, but Aster crushes that dream, and who knows, that could be the one kill that gives him momentum. Again, 1k gold swing. Not insignificant at all.
Certainly is not. Charge out, Siamese Cat. Gonna be spotted. Doesn't really have any play here after he's used the disruption. And GPK gets the kill anyway, so it's not really too big of a deal for him. At least Monet is getting to the stage where he's gonna have the Ags up soon enough. Like, it's 1.6k just about from having the Aghanim Scepter available. We saw last game that they were able to make some things happen once the Ags was available. But then again, like, this TA is huge. Butterfly is going to be made soon for Nightfall. You know, I'm trying to find some signs of life here for Team Aster, John. It is hard, but I'm trying.
I know it's difficult, Mike. Because I'm trying to think of it. It's my job to think of that. So, yeah, I know it's a challenge. It's not quite presenting itself. I guess if Aster find a way to just get pick-off after pick-off, they come back into it. Look at BetBoom's position. They're kind of loosely scattered around the map. There is an opportunity for Aster to kind of just look for one to kill. And that's what Aster has to focus on. Just one kill. It's all they need to bounce back into this game. Single target pickoffs back to back. But now these targets are all hard to pin down. Medusa with Butterfly up. At least the Axe is up for Monet. This is normally the point where he does start to get a little bit more active. And we'll see. The Axe is almost done for your Pure, Mike. Good old Spoink ready to go. That's a fun spell. Imagine that with Chakra. Just 2 Spoinks in a row.
Bottom tower is under attack.
It's a lot of damage. I may have preferred Hurricane Pike first, but, you know, it's Pure.
No.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And Spoink is a real pain, like, just 3 impetus shots flying out. Just the amount of, like, you basically deal 1k Pure damage. Probably more, actually. In the click of a button on a 4-second cooldown.
Yeah, Pure is going to be doing a lot of Pure damage.
Yeah, that's true, John. That is true. Like his namesake, he has been doing the Pure damage as Monet. Charges out. GPK right behind him. They want to control up the Slug as long as possible to try and burst him down. XXS though with a nice doom out. Did catch the Medusa with that. The Toronto Tokyo has dropped, and now Team Aster in a 4v5 scenario might be able to make some magic happen. Pure, nice juke on the pounce. With the Spoink, he just completely avoids it. Monet, though, he has the Ags up. He should be just fine to retreat. I can't say the same for Baboka. And in fact, Monet forced to pop the Shadow Dance to try and avoid the impetus shots. He's barely going to make it out. Siamese Cat won't be so lucky. So at least Aster, they only lose their support here, but boy, it could have been so much worse.
I mean, they find a kill. I'm legitimately not even memeing. That kill is big. It gives him a lot more gold to get that kill and lose their 2 supports than anything else. On the side of Aster, I mean, that's a sign of life out. Maybe stacking up their spells a bit too much, like dooming up Medusa and then disrupting, and probably not the best bet, so you're not able to chase down and get the follow-up. They do manage to punish the overextension coming out from Toronto Tokyo, and they find something. So if you can maybe find just this kind of punishment onto BetBoom when they're kind of scattered around, their initiation isn't smooth, that's how you get back into it. They still have a massive mountain to try to climb back in. 2-15, 9k lead for BetBoom still stands. And that team fight could have been a lot worse, but it also could have been a lot better for Aster.
That it could have. Well, there goes the mid-tier 2 tower. Easy take here for BetBoom.
Middle tower has fallen.
Only 1 tier 2 left standing on the outside of the map here for Team Aster. And it seems like BetBoom is slowly setting up to take down that final outer tower. Or maybe even setting up for a big team fight, because Nightfall trying to bait here in the mid lane. Smoke is up right behind him. They'll rush in immediately. Charge. Toronto was going right after Samel. Meanwhile, Baboka has been caught in the Pugna, and so is Siamese Cat. They both just die instantly. There's no real gameplay if they get caught out. And BetBoom, they might just say screw the top tier 2. They could even just go high ground right here, right now for the tier 3 tower mid.
Yeah.
Samel Going to be targeted by Pure, who's just frontlining for his team. Ronovatos is out. Sumail getting used up mid-chains as well. He's in a bit of danger here. Silence is out. Toronto Tokyo with the charge in and the Nether Strike holding down Sumail, and he's just gone. Monet will at least pounce out safely. They even committed the Doom on Pure just to try and stop the impetus from flying out. But that did not prove to be enough.
No, it's just not enough. And they just reset. That does hold them off from the high ground push at the least. But Aster are going to lack that Doom in the next team fight. And it's still a big opening for BetBoom if they find something to pick off here. I mean, you're getting just so damn big on Nightfall. Just lacking that Demon Edge for the full Crystallis now, for the full Daedalus. And what do you do about the Medusa? You have to worry about the Inch, you have to worry about the TA, and you have no clear answer for the Medusa still.
BetBoom again. Nice scan out. Did find Team Aster on the western side of the map here. Not going to stick around. Might just wait out the next Roshan, which is up in a minute 20. Much safer to just secure the Roshan first and then go for the tier 2 outer tower. They do have a nice 13k advantage, and as you can see, win probability sitting at 94% for the side of BetBoom. Still just applying that pressure top lane here against Team Aster.
You know what I just realized, Mike? You ever try mousing over Sproink and seeing the flavor text it has? All it says is Sproink is as Sproink does. They don't even bother explaining the lore of Sproink. It's just it just is.
I mean, she's literally just leaping backwards, John. I'm not sure what they could have said.
But why does she need an axe?
What are they going to say?
Like, can't the doe leap backwards by itself without having to pick up Aghanim's scepter? And the most learned
got something
mage?
to pick on, don't you? You've always got something you've got to pick out.
I gotta find
just
something.
can't win with you, Jonathan.
No one
can't
wins,
win with you. Team Aster grouping up, ready for the next Roshan, which does now spawn up. Vision is there thanks to the enchanted creep of Pure, who is not actually around the Roshan pit at the moment. He's just pushing out the mid wave. We'll TP over to the outpost though, so BetBoom going to group up and perhaps force a smoke attempt. Or maybe just walk into the Roshan pit and just go for it. Just invite Team Aster into the Roshan. Team Aster, it's like, how do you initiate this fight? We saw last time they had a decent Roshan fight, but they could not pick up the Aegis in time. Here we go again. Roshan already going to go down. Cheese, Aegis both picked up. And now they've even found Sumail for their trouble. Sumail already losing half his HP. The life drain going to hold him up just a little bit. So he will be able to back off. And instead they'll pick off XXX by the looks of it, though. He is still going with the Decrepify. He will survive. Toronto Tokyo is the one to go down first, but he's going to buy back. Meanwhile, Nightfall is out of mana. Maybe they can deal with the Aegis straight off the bat, and it seems like they can. Nightfall is down, but he's got that secondary life to try and deal with this team fight. It's Sumail. Sumail's being controlled up. Benet's down as well on this Slark. And this is not the fight they wanted. Like, you got the Aegis off the Medusa, but you lose 3 for your trouble, and they're all 3 cores to boot. Only the supports end up surviving for Aster.
Yeah, it's the reverse of the last few team fights where the supports were dying, the cores get to live. This is a rough outcome for Aster. At the least, again, no 2 lives, no cheese left. You did force a buyback out from Toronto Tokyo. So you do find a little bit for yourself as we see the replay. Some good spell use coming out from Aster. A good decreps to stall out. A really good disarm coming out there as well from XXS. Just not enough to turn the tides. The high ground does begin on our live cam here.
Pure. Yeah, I mean, Pure is just, he's just moving right in as we are getting to the end of this replay here. And luckily the action has stopped. Yeah, I mean, Aster giving their best shot here in this team fight that we did just see, but sadly just didn't prove to be enough. But look at this now, back to the live action. Pure is just throwing impetus shots everywhere. This Sproink is just so infuriating to try and play against. So Pure can just do this safely as Monet forced to jump in and try to do something about it. Already popped the Shadow Dance though, so in a bit of an awkward scenario now to try and back off as they have already lost Siamese Cat. The top racks, it is just melting. They'll leave with the range rack standing, but they've got the melee barracks already down. And again, just the fact that this Eng can just stand in front and just zone them out so effectively, it's proving to be impossible to deal with for Team Aster.
That's pretty hilarious. Just having this little dough. Oh.
GPK. Jump in is there. They do land the stun, and GPK gets caught on his own. He's down. Right underneath the vision of Team Aster.
That's a big one. That does bring us all the way up to 4-2-2 now on our score line. Maybe feeling a little bit too overconfident, not respecting the vision game coming out here from Aster, and the punishment is severe. Not enough to really drag them back into the game, to be fair, but should be a bit of a wake-up call for BetBoom to not laze around too hard. Aster can still pull the numbers in, and again, for Aster, they're way back into this game. It's single target pickoffs. When BetBoom does play greedy like this, when they split up on the map, they can just get taken down with the control, the damage Aster has on hand. So you have to respect that still, despite being so far ahead. You say that, but Save does have the Dagon up.
That they do.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Now even a Lincoln Sphere coming out on Pure, so
Are scanning.
even more defense for the end. Just that much more challenging to land this Doom that seems to be so important to allow Aster a chance to actually jump in and get some damage off. So props to Team Aster, John. They aren't out of this game yet, 4-22 with a 22k advantage, but certainly not over yet. They still got a chance in this one. Though it may be a very slim chance, but a chance nonetheless. In fact, the chances have actually gone up by 1%, John, so that's good news.
Yeah. And Dota Plus just giving them a little bit more to play with, Mike. You know, just a little bit of hope. 5%. We have seen swings from that point. Let's see if BetBoom will give them that opening, as they will start on the bottom tier 3 here.
They will. Tier 3 bottom tower, not gonna be lasting very long like this. Skadi is out for the Medusa now, so Nightfall even more of a terror to try and deal with here on the Medusa. So BetBoom are gonna wrap around, perhaps through the top lane. They did smoke up, but they haven't run really directed towards the high ground yet. Maybe they take the Tormentor? BetBoom, who have they found? They have found Baboka. With a nullifier, it's not going to be too hard to take him out, but they do have the depth trap to try and buy Baboka a little bit of time. And that they will. Baboka does make it. Pure, starting with XXS with all this impetus.
Radiant's top barracks are under
BetBoom,
attack.
they're being a little bit cautious here, and I think that's fair. Understanding that one bad team fight could throw this game right back the other way. They won't underestimate Team Aster.
And they show some respect. They don't overcommit. They don't give any opportunities out. They will smoke up once more, though.
Haste.
Sumel charges out, he lands a stun. Oh boy, Toronto Tokyo's cancelled the TP off. Sumel now in huge trouble. Doesn't actually end up hitting the chains either. And that is your mid-timber going down for 65 with the up buyback gold available. That is problematic now as the bottom tier 3 is being forced in. The impetus. Oh, Monet!
Oh, God.
Oh, he's alright. He's okay.
Oh.
Couple of those missed.
Jesus.
That's a scary sight to watch, I'll tell you. I mean, to be fair, he had the Shadow Dance anyway, so he probably would have been okay. It's Monet now, trying to make sure Siamese Cat gets out of this alive. Bottom racks is completely wiped out, so they'll go into the mid-tier 3 tower.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Mid-racks now completely under siege as Team Aster. They've got to try one last time, it seems, to try and go after somebody, but Monet forced the Shadow Dance just to get away from all this damage.
Are under attack.
Onto Monet once again. The Slark trying his best to get close to Pure, but just not happening. Pure is just holding everyone back. My goodness.
Radiant's top barracks.
Just giving them zero chances to get close.
Yeah. Oh.
XXS, nice Doom. He's at least found the edge, so now that's one thing you don't have to worry about. But the problem is you still have a Medusa and a TA to worry about. XXS is gone. Monet pouncing out immediately. Sumail, meanwhile, being used up, is in a bit of danger. Nullifier is going to be there as well. Sumail not able to get to the high ground of the fountain, is going to go down. And the tier 4s are still under siege. They've called GG. Team Aster, they have had enough. And BetBoom, what a showing on day one of the group stages of DreamLeague Season 20. A 2-0 victory against Team Aster. And John, this is a team that get called in short notice because the Execration couldn't show up. I'll tell you, John, they